Hey everyone, and welcome back to DIY with Melissa. Of course, I'm Melissa, and today I have a fun project for you. We are going to use these foil transfer sheets. This is a 12 by 12 ones. The Cricut also has the smaller version. This is like a multicolor pack. There was gold and silver in this one. So the gold just looks like that. The silver, of course, is this. And then I got these ones. These are the 12 by 12 rose gold sheets. So I'm going to show you how I went about creating this gorgeous design. And it doesn't look as gorgeous on the camera, but it truly is the most gorgeous thing ever. So we're going to use it to do this outline here. But you may remember if you watched my video on how to create these flowers recently, I've now figured out how to create an outline with the foil transfer for these flowers, and I absolutely love it. Let's see if I can get you to see it. There you go. Oh, there you can see the gorgeousness up there of that one. It's really pretty. It's a very, very pretty design. And then this just adds that something extra to it. So without further ado, I'll head over to the computer. I'm going to show you how to go about making your design into a foil transfer design, and some other tips and tricks. I had some hacks that I had to show you. We'll get into that. It may not help you with this one. It helped me a lot though, and maybe in a future project it'll help you. So let's head over to the computer and get this started. We are back at the computer when to get this project started. I am going to show you two different ways on using your foil transfer sheets. One is we're going to transfer the foil on the card like so only, but this one is creating an outline of a flower. I showed you recently how to create these flowers with wording as a stem. So I'm going to use that same concept. I'm not going to go through it again, but if you would like to see that, I will link the video to that to the end of this video. Hopefully I can figure out how to do that. I'll try. If not, I'll link it in the description. However, I did create a detailed video on how to create this design. It is the most gorgeous design in my opinion. I really love the outcome of it, and I do give you some other ideas on how to use this design in that other video. So I'll link that, as I said, at the end. Here is the outline with the foil transfer on it. So let's get right into it. Once you have your flower created with whatever wording you want as a stem, you'll take that flower and you're going to offset it. I'm actually going to make this bigger so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. There we go. So we'll hit offset. I like to offset projects by having it on one side away from this window here, because then I'm able to see what's happening. So when you offset this project, it's totally up to you what you want to do. I do want it to have some of this definition here. As you can see, these portions are going to show with the foil transfer. If I don't do the offset correctly, then it may not show. So I like to make sure that it will show. So right now, that's looking pretty good to me. I am going to go down just a little bit more. There we go. To me, that's a really nice offset that's going to give me the desired look that I want. Once you're happy with your offset, we'll hit apply. Don't touch anything. We're going to offset it again. Again, you want it to be a clean offset. And I really hope you can see that. There we go. Bring that up a touch and we'll hit offset again. So here it is. This portion is going to be drawn in with your foil transfer. So I'm going to hit apply and I'm going to grab the two offsets I just did. So the first offset right behind the flower and the second offset. And I'm going to click on slice. Once we click on slice, we can remove this excess. We don't need these two pieces, so we can delete them. What we need though is this outline, but we need to clean this outline up. So I'm actually going to move that guy aside. Before I do anything else, I'm going to change this outline I'm going to go up to Operation, hit the drop down, Foil, and I'm going to choose the bold. It's totally up to you what you want to use, whether it be the bold, the medium, or the fine. However, when you see the completed project, when I let the foil transfer do its thing, you'll see what the bold looks like. And in my opinion, the bold is probably the best route to go. Please test it out, maybe do a couple and decide from there what you want to do. Once you have your sliced outline ready and it's in the bold foil, I'm going to click on contour. I'm going to X out a contour. I want to be able to see the contour when I'm doing it. So I like to move it over so that I can see it. I'm just gonna, there we go. I'm going to click on hide all contours, and this is going to show me what the design's going to look like. And it's going to be up to you if you need to add more or less to it. I am happy with the way it looks here, but this will give you an idea of what your outline is going to look like once it starts outlining on your actual machine. So play around with it, make a decision on your offset, if it's too big, if it's too small, whatever the case may be, adjust it as you see fit. I can tell you, I played around with this probably 100 times to get it right. I had cut it out. I tested it numerous times to get the look I really wanted to get. So totally up to you how you want this to turn out. But just keep that in mind. Do a lot of testing and some practice, some trial runs to see what design you like best. Once you're happy with your contour, you'll then offset it one more time at whatever size you want. So again, you want to ensure that you're grabbing everything. So I am going to make it a touch bigger. So now, as you can see, hopefully you can see the blue outline is just outlining the words and the flower. So for instance, it's not going to outline the inner portions of this area here. We don't want that. I want it to cut outside of the design. So I'll hit apply. I'm going to change that to a basic cut. I'm going to make it white. If contour is available, I would suggest contouring it to make sure there are no holes in the middle that will end up cutting out. Once you're happy with that portion, I will then select the offset and the outline and attach. We are attaching these two portions so that Cricut will do the outline. Once it's completed, it will then cut the outline. You will see as we go to cut, I will have some issues with the cardstock cutting through because I am using a very thick cardstock. I am going to show you a little hack at that time on how I went about getting it to cut a second time. However, if you know ahead of time that it's going to give you issues to cut, the way we can get around that is by, I'm going to detach this and I'm going to duplicate that background, that white background, and send it to the back. And then I'm going to take all three, align, center, and attach. What will happen there is Cricut will then do your outline and then cut the white portion twice. And if twice is what it's needed to cut it, then it will do that. Like I said, you're going to see the other hack that I use in case you forgot to do this step to get Cricut to recut this design. Because like I said, my cardstock was a very thick cardstock. This now looks really good to me. And I can now align, center it. And I'm just going to group it to keep it together so I can play around with the rest of it. The rest of it is the card. So I have here a card that is 10 inches wide by 7 inches high. I want a 5x7 card, and that's what I achieved by doing this. Now, when I went ahead and got this ready to cut and do the foil transfer, I noticed that it was trying to ask me to do the um, score line first. And at that time, I'd already put everything on the mat. I was ready to get it cut, and I didn't want that to happen. So I did do a little hack to get it to work. So I'll go through with you how I did that hack right now. But if not, just keep in mind that Cricut will ask you to do the scoring first, and then the foil, and then the cut. At least that's what happened for me. This is the project that I used, and the image number for this doodle heart is M50614FA0. The way I ensured that it was a foil transfer is I went up to operation again, and I just went to foil and also bold. And that's how that came out. You will see that this is a welded project. When I changed this to bold foil, you will notice that it is a little funky right here. The way I finished that is I brought another one of these designs in. I flipped the design, and so bring this down. I just grabbed a circle, or any shape will work, to be honest, and I added it to the top, selected both the circle and the doodle heart, and I clicked on slice. Once I clicked on slice, the portion that was removed, I'm going to delete this, and this can be deleted as well. I then brought this portion in here, and I selected both, and I welded it. And that's how I got this to be a cleaner piece over what was showing at the time. So you can flip it back, or you can leave it as is. It's totally up to you. Once you're happy with the placement of your design, we're then going to select the two portions and attach as well. I then brought my flower in and placed it, resized it where I needed to, however you want it sitting on here. The last thing is I brought this mom into Design Space, and the image for this mom is M505CF555. So that is there. And what I did was, I'm going to ungroup this. The flower itself, I'm using heat transfer vinyl together with the mom portion. So it's totally up to you. The only thing I would caution you about with permanent vinyl is that it may stick to your cardstock, rip your cardstock, or even maybe pull the foil transfer off. So just keep that in mind when creating your designs and figuring out what material you wanted to use. If you use cardstock with this, it would work as well. However, these little bits are all going to be its own piece. You're going to have to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. This is a very fine cut, which is going to be a little difficult, not impossible, but difficult to cut with cardstock. So keep all those things in mind when creating your design. The last thing I'm going to show you is that, like I said, I did do a hack to get this to cut after the fact, because I had already, as you will see, put everything onto my mat with the foil transfer, was ready to go, and then Cricut would not let me adjust the way they were planning on doing the transfer, the score, and the cut. The way I went about making it work is I just created another 10 by 7 rectangle with a score line. I center aligned it and attached. So once Cricut went ahead and did my foil transfer and my cut twice, because like I said, it was some thick cardstock that I was using. I then used the mat that had this project on it to score the center of the card. And that was my little way of creating a hack to make this work, because I already had it all set up and I didn't want to have to take it all apart to do it the way Cricut wanted me to do it. So again, all of those little hacks are not necessary, but they are hacks should you ever should you ever have any difficulties in the future with any of these things. Now you know how to work your way around it. I'm going to go ahead and get this cut. Just a reminder to mirror this portion of your design if you are using heat transfer vinyl. The other thing I would suggest to not take up or not waste your heat transfer vinyl is just moving these around to make sure that they are taking up the least amount of vinyl as possible. So we can just cut like a little square on there. This one you're going to have to move because, oops, my attach disappeared. Let's try that again. I'll attach that. Okay. So I'm not sure why, but Cricut is putting these together and this by itself. But of course, I want to use the foil transfer on all of this. So to move it, you'll click on it on the 3 dots, hit move object, and move it there. Same thing for this one, 3 dots, move object, move it there. We will start off by creating this design first, because like I said, this is for after our foil transfer is complete. So this will go first. When you hit continue, I'm going to choose medium cardstock, and I always choose more pressure. And now here it is telling you to load your foil transfer tool, the bold tip, and to stick it on. To stick your foil transfer paper up, and then next it says coming up fine point blade. So we'll move over to the craft table and I'll show you how I get this ready. It's really important, and you'll hear me say this again, that when you're sticking your foil transfer paper to your cardstock, that you stick it very well. It will shift if you don't. So you're going to hear me say this again when I move over to the craft table. Just so you know, once everything is done, so once this portion is done, I would then go and select this one to go next, so that it only does the score line, and then I'll cancel the cut portion because we don't want it to cut again. So that's just how you navigate through this portion here so that it does what it needs you to do. So let's head to the craft table and get the rest going. Okay, we are back at the table and we're going to get the foil transfer going first. It's going to be the portion at the front of the card, and then the rose is also going to, we're also going to do the rose. So I am doing on a white background because I am using the pink iron-on for the actual rose. So I want the background to be white with the gold, the rose gold transfer. And then the card will also be white, and then I have the insert ready for the card, and then the foil transfer will be a portion and the rose will be the other portion of the front of the card. So we have it ready. For the card, we're going to use this foil transfer tool. It comes with 3 of these tips. There's like 3 lines on the side of this one, and then the medium size has 2 lines and the small has 1 line, just depending on what design you're using or what you decided on your canvas on Design Space is which one you'll choose for that. We're also going to use a scoring tool because we're scoring the center of the card to fold it. And yeah, so we're just going to follow the prompts on Cricut as to what to do. How we get the foil transfer going is you're going to add your cardstock of choice, whatever color it may be, and as I said, I'm doing mine in white. You'll then add the foil transfer to the top of that. I started this because I thought I was going to do it in pink, and then after thinking about it, that was not going to work, considering all the elements that I have going on. The pink though is so pretty. It was like a corally pink, which I thought would have went really well with this, but with all the elements going on in the card, I don't think it's going to work out. So, especially for the flower portion, I think is more the issue. But that's okay. We're going to go with white. We have these. This comes with the foil transfer sheets. So this is what I picked up. It came with 8 rose gold sheets. And in it has the sheets and these stickers. These stickers really act like tape. As you can see, I started taping around the edges already. It's really important to tape your edges properly. It can easily start shifting, and trust me, it's shifted on me numerous times. I can actually show you. As you can see here, it shifted right here. It shifted, and right here, because I didn't tape it down properly, so it did that. This one shifted as well. I reused it because I was just doing some testing out to decide what I wanted to do. And you can also reuse the tape. As you can see, I just pulled it off of this sheet here. It's really easy to pull off, and we can reuse the tape that comes with it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this transferred. I will bring the camera down to show you the process that Cricut goes through to do it. So let's get this started. Just note, you want some space for this because once the transfer is complete, you will have to remove all of this tape and take the transfer sheet off. So keep that in mind. Wherever you're working, you want extra space to be able to do all of that. I am using a very long mat, which is not helpful in the least, but it's a good mat for me right now for cardstock projects, so I'm continuing on until it no longer is sticky. Without further ado, I'm going to stick this into my maker and get this going. Just a reminder, we had to do the little trick to get Cricut to do this portion first and then score, because for some reason it's making me score first and then do this, but I don't want to do it that way. That's just my little reminder, but we're actually going to go get this in the machine and worked on right now. So just to show you, our blade is in. This is the foil transfer blade. It's in compartment B. Our mat is in. It's ready to go. And as I mentioned, Cricut just gives you the information as to what needs to go in. We're doing this mat first because I did the little trick to get it to score after, but it's telling me right now, the foil transfer tool, bold tip, 3 lines. I did choose medium cardstock. You won't find the foil option because this is the portion where the foil is. As you can see, it's pushing down into that foil. So the foil is actually moving under that blade. I hope you can see that, which is why you have to really tape it down. Maybe you can see it better like this, actually, how the foil is kind of getting wavy and moving. So this is why it's very important that you tape this down properly so you have no issues with it transferring correctly. So I'm going to let this go ahead and finish up both this portion and the rose, and I'll be right back. Cricut did ask me to remove this gold foil and add the new one, but because I have a 12 by 12 sheet, I was able to just go ahead and hit start again. Our foil has now been transferred, and we're going to remove this foil from the paper, from the cardstock, and it looks so good. I'm just going to remove this, and I'll be right back. Now, I have to say, be very careful when removing the tape. You probably can't see that. Oh, there we go. It did rip the cardstock ever so slightly, and that should actually cut anyhow. So it should be okay, but just keep that in mind. Let's get this cut now. Now I have my fine point blade in, and Cricut will just get this project cut, which is the card and the rose. That looks like a little key right now. It did its first cut. This cardstock I'm using is really thick, and it did not cut through the design. So I've said this before, but I'll show you again in case you haven't seen it. If you click on this start button again, Cricut will go ahead and recut the design exactly as it is. Do not remove it from the mat. When doing so, just click on that start button and let it go again. I did have to trick it again because I do have the foil and then the cut. So now it is thinking it's doing the foil again, which of course it's not because I don't have any blade currently in my machine. It's just a little trick that I'm doing to the machine to make it believe that it's doing the entire process all over again. Now that it thinks that the foiling is done, I put the fine point blade back in and it's going to cut again. And as you can see, it's now cut completely. So let's get this out. Oh, so I am going to just remove the mat and add the mat back in so that I can do the score down the middle. I'm not going to move anything from the mat. I want to leave it exactly as is. And I'm just going to put the scoring piece in. I now have my scoring wheel in. I'm going to hit start. I just wanted to score that center score line for me. Cricut is now asking me to put the fine point blade back in, but I'm just going to release the mat. And as you can see, it's now scored. So let's head back to the craft table. Okay, so like I said, everything is now cut. Well, not everything, we're gonna get the rest cut. But how gorgeous is that gold foil transfer? It looks so good. Also, I forgot to mention when I was showing you the mat that it did cut off the piece that it stuck to. So we now have a clean edge for our card. I don't know if you can see that, but it's nice and clean. And how gorgeous is that border? It's just so pretty. And this guy will sit here once we have everything put together. I'm going to cut out the heat transfer portion of it and I will be back to put everything together. Okay, I have my heat transfer vinyl ready, or cut, I mean. I'm just going to weed it quickly. And I forgot to change the direction that this flower portion was sitting, so I wasted a lot of vinyl. Don't be like me. Ensure you change the direction so that this does not happen. If I had put it this way, I could have saved some vinyl, but it's all good. It is, I actually got this vinyl for free, so, well, I guess somewhat free. I purchased the Creative Fabrica summer bundle, and then Sizer or Caesar sent me this bundle. As I always tell my kids, nothing in this world is for free. Oh, it's so pretty. I didn't spell birthday right. Wah. I'm going to redo that right now. I'll just weed this portion here. Spell check. Cricut spell check would be ideal. I'm going to just recut this portion and then we'll get it ironed on here. And this goes to show, even the ones who might be doing this on a more daily basis than others make mistakes. We forgot the R in birthday. So I'll be right back. Crafting is so fun. I recut it. In recutting it, I also had to recut and retransfer the foil portion. So that was lovely. Now, I'm going to weed again. Birthday is spelt correctly now. It looks so good. And so does our flower. I'm now going to get my heat press warmed up. And it's just going to stick just like that. Our card is also ready. Of course, you know it is scored, so we'll just fold it on the score line like so. I'm going to just take my scraper just to get that nice clean edge. This will sit in here just like so. Our heat press is just on the second level, and I would protect your surface. Don't be like me, because I'm not going to protect my surface. But one of the heat mats would work well. It doesn't need a lot to get this to stick. Just get it going and then grab a corner and test it out. That's that. And then we have this portion I'm also going to iron on. So I'm just going to place it with the flowers sitting there. That looks like a good spot to me, and then this guy will sit right here. Gently iron this on. You could use a piece of butcher paper for this. I'm just being willy-nilly here, but I would highly recommend a piece of butcher paper. That looks pretty good. I'm actually going to use the foam risers to stick this portion on, but before I do that, I am going to stick this part inside. If you want a tutorial on how I did this, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it has the carnations on the back of it. I did use shimmer cardstock, my favorite, and then I put the wording on top. I did do this on Canva, so it is a more advanced tutorial, and I do have Canva Pro that allows me to do a lot of this, so keep that in mind. But if you do want to see it, maybe you do have Canva Pro and you want to see how I did this, shoot me a comment and I can get that video out for you if I have enough people interested in it. So I'm going to get my glue stick and we'll stick the inside on. I'm so happy with how this came out, and my mom she loves carnations, like loves them to no end, and so I think she'll really enjoy this card with the carnation in front as well. So like I said, I'm going to use these to stick it on with. This just gives the card a little depth. You don't have to. You could just glue it, or you could even make it in such a way that it's like more of a keepsake if you wanted to. But to me, the whole card is a keepsake because it's just so personalized for your loved one. I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever seen a birthday card for mom with carnations on it. So I was really happy that I was able to make this. And there you have it. The most adorable card ever. I'm in love. And there you have it. How adorable was that? I am so happy with how this turned out. I think my mom's gonna love it. You know, the carnations on the inside are so pretty. I did not show you that part, of course, but like I mentioned, if it's something you're interested in to figure out how I went about doing this, I guess like background almost portion, let me know in the comments. As I mentioned, it is something that has to be done on Canva. As far as I can tell, Cricut does not have the option to do this right now. And I had Canva Pro to be able to do this as well. So just keep that in mind. If you want to learn all about it, just leave me a comment. I don't mind showing you. Maybe that might make your decision on if you want to go with Canva Pro or not. I love Canva Pro. It does help me with a lot of my designs. But that aside, because that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the Cricut Foil Transfer Sheets. I hope you give this a try. It's so much fun. And you can make your cards, make a bunch of cards. And like I had mentioned, my mom loves carnations, like loves carnations. It's the only flower that she ever asks for. And you never see cards out there, or at least I haven't, with carnations on it. So this is so personalized to her taste, and you can do it for any other flower. Like the birthday flower, for instance, would be nice, whatever their birthday flower is. Or my birthday is in July, and the water lily, I think it is one of the flowers for July. So I can make a card like that for myself or anybody who's in July. But anyhow, I do hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If you did, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Hit that bell button so you're notified when I post new videos. And of course, subscribe. I am having so much fun over here at DIY with Melissa. I know I said, I think on the last video, that I'm going to be coming out with some new videos, or sorry, some extra videos during the week. Those are coming. I haven't forgotten about that. If there's anything that you want to learn that I haven't touched on yet, leave me a comment. I'm always taking your ideas and going with it to teach you how to do something. So until next time, I hope you have a fabulous week ahead. Hope you have a fantastic, crafty week ahead. Take care. Bye now.